Hello there, all, and welcome to GamePoints episode 159, our weekly get together. We talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is.
David.
You sound a little quiet there, David.
It's fun.
Probably tired, I'm assuming. Long, hard weekend.
Of course. That's okay. Beer helps. I'll be
Fair
fine.
enough. Tonight, we are going to get into the Anthem VIP demo. Keep in mind, their phrasing is important because I want to get into that specific phrase later on. We're going to talk about some Metro Exodus exclusivity, Metroid Prime 4. We're going to get into a few other smaller details throughout the week. I want to welcome everyone who's showing up to the chat right now. It's always good to have you. Salty Frank, thank you for showing up. To anyone who happens to be here watching, if you want to support the show in any way that you can possibly think of, feel free to like, subscribe, throw bits at, and all that good stuff. And if you want to be part of the greater community, the Discord link is down below if you want to join that as well. David, what have you done over the weekend? Actually, I know what you did over the weekend. That's going to lead to our first story. So let me tell you what I did over the weekend.
Sounds good. Let's go.
I have been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 since Thursday.
Wow.
I can't tell you anything about it. Not a damn thing about it.
Which is funny because other people can.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Oh, the struggles of being just interesting enough to get things, but
Yes.
not interesting enough to being allowed to talk about them.
Exactly. But that game does come out tonight at 9, in which case, if the show happens to run a little long, I will be able to mention my first impressions and thoughts of it then. But
I'm assuming it's the most Kingdom-y Heartsy Kingdom Hearts since the last one.
Absolutely. But I was also playing another game over the weekend off and on, and that is Resident Evil 2.
That game looks real nice.
God damn, is that game amazing. If you are a fan of survival games at all, if you like, or survival horror games specifically, rather, if you like Resident Evil, if you like that old 90s Capcom feel, pick this game up. It is doing extremely well from what it sounds like. It sounds like it's their second biggest PC launch of all time. I believe Monster Hunter World is #1 still. And it is doing really goddamn well. But enough about me. Let's talk about your gaming experiences over the weekend. And I think Salty Frank might be a little right when he says if sadness that Anthem VIP makes you feel... Read that again there. Is it the sadness that the Anthem VIP makes you feel having you quiet? I think he might be right. Coco for Tacos, thank you for showing up in the chat, by the way. Appreciate having you here. David.
Yes.
Tell us about the Anthem VIP demo.
God damn, that was a lot of preamble for me to just start talking about something that makes me depressed. So you want to know what I did this weekend? Honestly, mostly play Warframe because Anthem is broken as fuck. Okay, I installed that game on my computer. It was a 40 gig download for the demo.
Okay.
It didn't take, a million years. I got decent internet. Loaded that game up. As soon as I saw the title screen, I had just Destiny flashbacks. Like the swelling music, the kind of post-apocalyptic looking vegetation mixed with technology.
Builds to crescendo as it's showing stuff, I'm assuming. Because I have no experience with Anthem whatsoever. I had a chance to go to a preview event a couple weeks back at EA, but it was just I had other stuff going on. I didn't get a chance to take them up on that, and I have not really even seen anything about Anthem because I'm deliberately in a blackout to keep from getting too hyped or disappointed by it. So this is going to be my first time really speaking of someone who's played it.
That's fair. So the main menu, that's just what I got. It was like Destiny flashbacks. And then I actually loaded the game. And I loaded into this little town area, and then it starts in first person. And I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good. I mean, Frostbite engine still hanging out. That's cool. You guys got first person. That makes sense. And then I go to turn my character, and I move my mouse, probably this much on my mouse pad, and my character goes. He barely moves.
Okay.
Just drags across the screen. So I immediately had to double the DPI on my mouse to actually move around in town.
Okay, that's a problem.
Let
me ask this. Is that a setting because just the natural options start with a low mouse sensitivity, or is that just in the middle of the mouse bar? In the middle of the sensitivity bar?
The problem is that, and I'll get to it, but that's when I was in town. As soon as I went outside, I had to turn my mouse down again.
Okay.
So like the in-town gameplay is first person. It's fucking archaic because it forces you to walk everywhere. You can't sprint. Everything's kind of far apart, so you're like walking through a town. And in the demo, you can't really talk to anybody. There's like two things you can interact with. There's a guy downstairs that gives you a quest, and there's a place you get in your suit, and that's about it. Everybody else says content not available, content not available. So you're just walking around at a snail's pace, interacting with things in first person. When you actually go outside and you're in exploration, you're doing missions, you're in the suit, that's all third person, which is a lot better. And I don't know, it's like a weird disconnect for me in that amount. But the town itself didn't perform especially well. Oh, suck it. That's what you get.
So the town itself, was it populated? Was there a lot of NPCs and players running around? Or
there's a few people around, and like I said, it looked pretty nice. The water reflections were good. It seemed like it had a lot of physics because I got a lot of stuttering just in the town.
Okay.
And eventually found a dude. He gave me a quest. He told me to go outside. I walk up. I see the suit sitting there staring at you like the Iron Man suit in the first Iron Man, just like sitting on this little platform. You walk up to it. The whole thing spins around slowly. Your character actually climbs into it. The animation's pretty cool.
And they're called javelins, right?
Yeah, they're called javelins. You get in the suit. Your character sticks his face in the thing, and then you get a loading screen, and it has you choose the mission, what you're planning on doing, and you're like, all right, cool. I'm in the suit. Let's go. Launch the mission.
Okay. Now, before you continue, I want you to share with us roughly how old your PC is.
I have a GTX 970 and a AMD FX 8370 overclocked to about 3.6 gigahertz.
Okay. Not that I think that's
RAM.
going to matter all that much, but I just want to get the stats out of the way because it's good to have this information so people can kind of compare and contrast what they have.
I absolutely don't have the best computer in the world. I also don't have the worst. I have plenty of friends I game with that have worse setups than I do. So I would say my computer is middling.
Okay.
You know, my graphics card's only 2 gens back. It's not that big a deal.
Oh damn, they are.
Yeah,
they are on the 20s now, aren't they?
Yeah. So I get in my suit, get to my like little mission launching screen, hit launch. Sweet. Game starts loading.
Yep.
Music's building. Okay, cool. Game's still loading.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe the loading takes a little while. Alt tab, look at some internet, blah, blah, blah. Come back, check on it. Still loading. Still loading. 10 minutes later, still loading.
God
okay,
damn.
Fine. I guess maybe it's because I hadn't read the internet or anything about it, so I didn't know what was going on yet.
Now, I have to ask: was it really 10 minutes before you shut it off, or are you kind of being hyperbolic here?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I was legitimately watching a YouTube video.
Okay.
So I went back, Alt F4'd the game, and the picture closed, but my computer kept playing the music. And continued playing music. And like the game didn't actually shut down until I task managered and ended it.
Oh.
Which then made Origin force restart and had some weird fucky bullshit. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Reopen Origin, loaded the game again, got to the main menu, walked back into the town, got back to my javelin, hit the thing, and actually loaded into the mission. Worked.
It looks like we have people in chat confirming that the game does not close if you hit Alt F4 either, which I just find intrusive as fuck.
Yeah,
I hate that.
So I actually got in. It's cool. Had some other people spawn with me. I didn't know what was going on. It's sweet. Let's go look around, see what's happening.
On your after you restarted the game, get back to you.
After restart, I got in. Second try, not a big deal.
Okay.
Could
have been a weird one-off thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm like, okay, I got an assault rifle. I shoot a little bit. All right. I look at the control scheme, dislike them immediately, change them pretty comprehensively. I moved a bunch of buttons all the way around.
Were you able to get something that you enjoyed playing though? Was it customizable enough to work? Okay.
Yeah, I remapped most of the keys to get it. Like besides WASD, I moved some stuff around because I have extra mouse buttons and stuff to make it easier. Okay. While I was in there, I figured out how to fly. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in this mech. I should be able to jump, hit shift, and then all of a sudden you're just flying through the air. And that shit's fun.
Okay, so
that is like my initial. That is my initial impression. Is like, okay, I shot a gun a little bit, and then as soon as I figured out how to jump and fly off the ground, it's like I feel like fucking Iron Man right now.
Is it pretty seamless?
Like you could make an Iron Man game in this engine. It looks fucking tight. And yeah, jumping off the ground and going into flight is instant. you basically just activate the boosters. You can also press another button to hover, and you can shoot. You can use abilities, all that stuff while you're in the air. It has an overheat mechanic, so while you're flying around, your heat's slowly building. Once you overheat, your boosters have to turn off and recharge, so it has like a cooldown mechanic.
About how long can you be in the air for?
The initial javelin I was in was, I don't know, a minute or so.
Okay, so a decent chunk in the air, because a minute's way longer than people realize.
Yeah, maybe it was 40 seconds. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that the different javelins have different like energy rates, so they'll be able to fly different amounts. You can also jump in water to cool your systems down a little bit, which is nice. So it'll help you stay cool.
Little bit of BattleTech heat management going on.
A little bit, yeah, which is pretty exciting. Then I start seeing enemies. I start shooting them. Gunplay is solid. It's not Destiny good, but it's also not made by Bungie. I don't even think it would be like Battlefield good, because again, it's a third-person shooter. But personally, I like third-person games, so I actually found it pretty nice. It was responsive enough for me. I didn't have too many control issues, but I heard some other people did with issues aiming, stuff like that. But I was able to shoot stuff. The abilities felt solid, and the big thing for me was the sound was fantastic. And I wear a decent headset. I got a sound card. Everything's in surround sound for me. So that was probably one of my favorite parts. Is DICE has always had good sound design, and this is the Frostbite engine, so it's the same tech.
Well, hold on. Has
DICE did not work on it, but I don't believe so. But DICE is the one that handed the Mass Effect team the Frostbite engine 3 years ago when they were building Andromeda.
I don't think the Frostbite engine runs off. It has anything to do with the sound, though. I'm not positive on that. I think that is only just an
I'm just going to make a general assumption that the engine has something to do with the sound, and the sound in this game is pretty good.
Okay. I don't know if they use middleware or not.
I could be wrong.
Like, middleware, like, you've seen it when you start up a game and you see, like, it says Havoc, which is a physics engine, or WWise, which is an audio engine, essentially. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure we're not making outlandish claims here.
Yep. And then I had to go into another zone. After I was running around shooting stuff, I'll go continue my quest. I got to go fight these guys. So I run into the next zone, hit a loading screen. Oh, man, that's a bummer. Load.
Oh, so this isn't just getting to a mission that brings us in. This is you.
Anytime the game had to load.
Oh wow! God damn, that would get annoying so fucking fast.
So I had to close the game again. I'm still upbeat though. I'm still positive. I turned the game back on. I hop back in it. I let it load up. It asked me if I want to rejoin, so it just throws me right back into the system, which is nice. I didn't spawn back in town. I went to go back into my party. It threw me back right in the area I was, but this time I didn't have a party. I was just by myself. So it didn't quite rematch me, but at least it got me back in the action. I started fighting stuff. It seemed a little tough running around by myself. I'm assuming I'm supposed to have 3 other people with me, but I made it through. Fought a few camps. Threw down with some flying guys. And again, the combat, the flying, the stuff that happened outside was good. It was legitimately fun. I was enjoying that, which is why I kept turning the game back on.
Okay, if the game wasn't just crashing on you with the infinite load screen, which we find out later as the weekend goes on was a problem many people were having. If that wasn't an issue, would you be playing the game more? Would you play the game more? Would you get it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know about that yet, because honestly, of raw gameplay time, I think I only got, if I check it, like an hour and 40 minutes. Over 2 full days of trying to play this game.
That's rough.
That is my actual in-mission, outside in expedition time is, I'm pretty sure, less than 2 hours, which is upsetting. I got through that stage. I had to go back to town once I finished. I got back into town, talked to the guy, got a new quest. A kind of funny cutscene happens. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I got a new mission. Head back over to the Javelin. Oh, no, now I can use this little foundry thing. I can customize the Javelin. I give it a sweet paint job. I can look to see you can change out parts. You can have different heads, chest pieces, shoulders, all this other stuff. That's where I could potentially see monetization. Who knows? Customization. But I was able to paint the pieces whatever color I wanted with different textures. And it didn't ask me for bits or credits or currency or bullshit. I was just like, I want to paint this yellow. And it was like, okay, that's yellow. So...
Okay,
that's a plus over Destiny.
Did you see? any kind of premium currency drop or anything
Nope.
like that in the game. Okay.
Nope.
So,
I didn't see a store or marketplace, but again, most of the people in town I could not interact with because it just said content not available. Besides the 2 or 3 people that you're supposed to talk to for getting the quests you can get, there's not a whole lot to do.
okay, so
And
from what I understand, a lot of the monetization will be turned on at a later date. So if I were to ask you, as someone who has played video games before and kind of knows what to expect, what aspects would be monetized?
cosmetics for sure.
Cosmetics
Because
for sure. Okay.
there's different armor pieces you can equip on your javelin, and in the demo you only had one alternate helmet, one alternate chest piece, one alternate arm, one alternate legs, and I could easily see that being filled up with a million different little bits and bobbles, so you can really customize the way your suit looks, and that is something that would fall perfectly into a monetization scheme. Potentially, it's also something they can give you drops of, but that's just kind of what my gut feeling is.
Did you see anything gameplay or mechanic wise that would be easily monetized or that felt like it could be monetized?
I mean, I got random weapon drops, so if they want to do some weird nonsense loot box thing filled with random drops, I'm sure they could.
Now,
But I
once
feel
again, I
like
want to say
they've
that
probably learned their lesson about loot boxes at
yeah,
this
I want to
point.
say
So
BioWare has and EA by extension have openly stated that there will be no loot boxes in Anthem. But remember, what I started this conversation with, I have deliberately been keeping myself away from news about Anthem because I don't want I want to go in with as blank of a mind as possible because I
well, the
don't
big
want to
thing
be
to me is
overly harsh on it.
even if they add a bunch of stuff you pay money for, like customization, the core gameplay is solid enough that I could see playing it not paying any additional money for it.
Okay, good.
Because, like I said, the gameplay was fun. Then I realized I needed to keep leveling up, and I could unlock a second javelin and fly around with one of the other suits and try out all the different abilities. They have one basic ability that's fixed. They have an additional ability that you can change from like a set of abilities. I think they have 3 abilities total. One of them being an ultimate. You also have a melee, which is defaulted to V, which is a stupid fucking button for melee to be on, but that's why I moved it.
That as a side note, Melee on V, that's not the first game to do that. I see it on a lot of games, and I fucking hate it. I always put it either like middle mouse button or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like people are using their thumb or some weird shit to hit that because you can't do that with WSD unless you're using your thumb. It's just weird.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. I'm gonna go get this other suit. So I had to go outside. Doesn't work. Okay, restart the game. Try to load back into town. Can't even get into town. Oh, okay. Try it 6 more times Saturday night. Never managed to get into an expedition. Wake up Sunday morning. Load the game. It will not open on my PC. I can't even launch it. I go into like the EA website. I go through the support page. What the fuck is going on with this damn game? End up going through and completely deleting my Origin cache, restarting my computer, doing all this extra bullshit, doing the check install for the Anthem demo to see if everything's working. Wait 20 minutes for that to finish. Launch the game again. Get into the main menu. Sweet. Go back into the town. My quest is still up. I haven't lost any progress. Sweet. Head to my javelin. Go to hop outside. Loading screen. Fucking load the game again. Loading screen.
Hilarious.
Load the game again. Loading screen. I probably tried to play this game about a dozen times on Sunday, and I never got in again. So besides that first time when I played it on Saturday morning, and got in and had some fun, I didn't fucking touch the game again. I wasn't able to.
So Coco for Tacos brings up a good point. He's wondering if you actually bought the optimization DLC. Because that's probably required to actually have it run smoothly.
I'm assuming so. That's going to be their day one DLC plan. Buy this so that your game actually fucking works. And this is the upsetting part to me. Because as it is, they launched this as a demo. A VIP pay to access this shit demo. Which more than likely is used as a demonstration of the full product. As opposed to a beta, which is something that is not up to a certain point, not quite finished yet, still being worked on, or a server stress test, which is literally, we want as much people on here as possible and try and break it and tell us what happens. But no, they said it's a fucking demo.
Hey, say Mac Adam, by the way.
If the game launches as it is right this second, I couldn't recommend it. But the problem I have there is, I want this game to do well because the actual game itself is fun and I want to play it. And I'm really worried that if they send this game out and it has all these problems, no one's going to pick it up. No one's going to want to play it. And EA is going to just kill them because EA is waiting for a blockbuster. And if they don't get it, they're not going to give these times the guys the time to work on it that they need to. Where if this game just sat and it was allowed to get 2 years worth of content, I just know it would be amazing.
So I'm with you on the fact that if Anthem doesn't perform as well as EA wants it to, I legitimately fear for BioWare's future. I wouldn't be surprised if they just did not exist. If Anthem bombs, I think BioWare is going bye-bye. As far as the naming of it, people have a right to be legitimately pissed off because this isn't, like you said, a beta. This isn't a break it, do whatever you can to bust it. This isn't a work in progress. This was built as a demo. Not just a demo, but you put the VIP attachment on there, meaning this is an exclusive demo to get into. Now, I don't think you paid for it, right? You got a code?
No, I got a code from a friend.
Otherwise, okay. So
yeah, I'm not cool enough to actually have them give me a code. I'm just a regular fucking schlub.
I just wanted to establish that you yourself didn't actually pay for it.
Nope.
But a lot of people did.
I don't pre-order video games.
And this is... The concept of beta is nebulous anyways, because beta used to mean this game's horribly horrendous. Now they kind of are just overglorified demos coming out a week before the game comes out.
That's true. The usage of beta as opposed to its original meaning is been mostly lost, and they're just using it as a catch-all of like, oh, you can't bitch if our game doesn't work because it's just a beta. But turns out when you use demo, it's worse.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like, okay, we get that betas are demos now, so when you call something a demo, we expect an even higher level of quality behind that. Mm-hmm. So it's a branding issue already out the gate. People are kind of already suspicious of Anthem anyways. They're very lukewarm. EA has had a horrible past couple years.
Unless you go to the Destiny subreddit, which is just filled with people saying Anthem is going to kill Destiny, and then a bunch of moderators banning them because they should be in the other forum.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. It was not a good... This was bad for Anthem's health overall, and they need as much goodwill as they can honor, and they've already... You only get one chance to make a first impression, right? And I know that's a cliche statement, but in this case, there are a lot of people who probably play this and go, okay, I'm fucking done. I'm out. All because they called it a fucking demo and not a beta, despite the fact that essentially we all know that's the same thing at this point, right?
Yeah, more or less.
But there are people who go, no, there's something fucked up about this. And the fact that they put it behind a paywall, yes, they were giving out codes like candy, but a lot of this stuff was being sold to generate pre-orders. They're like, hey, pre-order and you get into this thing. Give us money and you get this, and this is what you got. In my opinion, that means people pay for a product, and that product was fucked up.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Because again, I want to love this game so bad. I just can't. It was just so aggravating. But like I said, I just ended up playing other video games this weekend.
So, just in case...
couldn't play it.
Yeah, in case you were wondering, the people at BioWare are very aware of this problem.
Oh, and to their credit, they were putting posts up and they were responding to stuff on Twitter and saying, "Hey, we're aware of this. We had seen that load glitch before in internal testing, but we thought we'd fixed it. Obviously, we're working with a much smaller sample size here in the place, but yeah, when you throw shit out in the wild, things break."
They kind of sum it up in this blog post here, Anthem VIP Demo Weekend Summary, and this is from Chad Robertson, head of live services. The fact that he is the head of live services should already tell you what EA's plans for this game is, by the way. So just keep that in mind.
This is their one video game for the year.
But he goes on to talk about a bunch of issues that happen up, including the entitlement bugs. What entitlement? What's entitlement in Anthem? Were you able to figure that out?
I think that's what they call XP.
Okay.
Because I know there was a bunch of issues with people like beating bosses and then losing all their XP or losing all their drops.
Okay. Yeah, there was some progression, like being lost left and right over and over again. That was an issue. They also have some issues with rubber banding, platform bugs to validate Javelin locks, client and login bugs. They have a whole list of stuff that they want to get taken care of, as well as this other stuff that you see here. I'm not going to read the entire list for you guys. They are aware of what's happening, and there is going to be a fully public demo this weekend, if I recall, starting on February 1st.
Which, I'll be honest, I'll be the first fucking one to turn it on.
Yeah, I want Anthem to be
and see
good.
what happened.
Because
I desperately want this game to be good.
what your takeaway is seems to be what the general consensus of my circle of people say. The game was buggy as fuck, but all the bugs are mainly related to trying to play as opposed to actually playing. When they have the time to actually sit down and get a hold of it and run through it and play it, the game runs from good to amazing.
Oh, and on my system, the game ran fantastic and looked great. Yeah. When I was actually out in expeditions, I didn't have stutter issues. I didn't have slowdown issues. I didn't have screen tearing. I mean, it was silky smooth. It looked great.
And that absolutely seems to be the general consensus. So I have hope that if they can nail the server bullshit, I have hope that Anthem could actually be, dare I say it, good.
Right.
Now, I'll also maintain this, too. A lot of people are like, oh my god, BioWare, the pioneers of storytelling. Dial it back for this. Because from what I've seen, and I've been saying this for almost a year now, don't go into Anthem expecting a live service version of Mass Effect.
I will say this. I played the game for barely an hour and a half, and the tiny amount of story that happened in the one quest I was able to do was more interesting than everything I've seen from Destiny 2 so far.
Okay, that's good to know. But the point I'm trying to make here is expect this to be more the Old Republic than Mass Effect as far as the storytelling goes. So just something to consider as you guys are going in here. So I think that wraps up our discussion on Anthem. At least you kind of gave me an idea of what to expect going into this weekend.
Shout out to Salty Frank in chat because he had a lot more control issues than I did. We were actually talking about it. And he had all kinds of issues with the camera not actually reacting, almost like it was trying to render stuff server side and on his computer side. And so he had completely different issues than I did.
Honestly,
so that's
you know what? I think a lot of the problems and all of the bad PR over the weekend would have been dampered if they just would have said, hey, this is a beta. We expect this to be fucked up. You're kind of testing our service for us. So if you can't log, if they just would have prepared people for going into it, I think that people would have walked away going, yeah, all the things they said weren't going to work didn't work, but what worked was amazing. And it just shows how transparency is so fucking important, which is going to be really important to another story later on as we go into it. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and do a hard change to the next story because we are at 30 minutes in and we've only talked about Anthem so far.
My bad.
And by the way, if you're watching us live or you're watching us on YouTube later, let us know if you get into the VIP demo. Let us know what you think down below. If you agree with David, if you think that if you had a good experience with it, if you think it sucks, just let us know down below. The one thing I ask is that you keep it respectful.
Also, anybody in the Discord server, send me your Origin username and I'll play when we get the demo next.
Yeah, that's something that we should actually consider doing. So, hard break to the next topic.
I'm doing it.
If you recall, we've been touching on this for the past few weeks since it's announced. Epic Games opened its own store, the Epic Game Store. It's a competitor to Steam. They have a better price sharing ratio, of course, and that seems to be luring a lot of developers over. We have seen some exclusive games go up. For example, Supergiant's game Hades is up on their live. Ubisoft is almost certainly going to go completely on the Epic Store now, rather than Steam. The Division 2, I believe, for example, is exclusive as well. Oh, speaking of Division, I will get a chance to play that tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And adding to their stable of exclusives, the Epic Store has signed an agreement with the guys who are putting out Metro Exodus for Metro Exodus to be exclusive to the Epic Store.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, this is following in the heels of the news from last week where we talked about Ubisoft having a game coming out that was going to be exclusive to Epic.
For Division 2.
And
see, I can tell when you're chatting, where you're typing in chat, because you don't.
Because I don't listen to you. In my defense, I don't listen to most of the shit you say. I just wait for my turn to talk.
Fair enough.
But there's some other stuff, and one of the games that I'm going to talk about, new releases, actually had some shady shit going on with the Epic Store. So I'll get into that later.
Oh, really?
But it's something that should make Steam a little nervous because the whole big thing is Steam has their 70-30 split that scales up to like an 80-20, I think, depending on the volume of sales that the game has.
You see how I know that you don't listen to me?
Because you said all this shit already, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
okay, because I'm still going to bring up the fact every single time that Discord, if they ever get their store off the ground, is running on like an 8812.
Oh, yeah. So Steam has some big
And-
competition, and
I want to believe.
this is one of the bigger moves that goes on today. Epic Games Store announcement, and this is from the actual blog post itself from MetroTheGame.com. Epic Games and Deep Silver today announced a partnership that will see digitally distributed PC version of the highly anticipated Metro Exodus released on February 15th, 2019, solely through the Epic Game Store. Awesome. Good on them. One thing I want to take away from this entire page, though, isn't the fact that Metro Exodus is going to be at the Epic Game Store. We get that. That's coming. This is the part of that statement I want to take away from here. We are delighted to partner with Epic to bring digital PC version of Metro Exodus to market, said Dr. Kleiman Kerndarovitz, CEO
Nailed
of
it.
CEO of Deep Silver. It's important to know he is the CEO of Deep Silver. Going on. Epic's generous revenue terms are a game changer that will allow publishers to invest more content creation or pass the savings on to players. By teaming up with Epic, we'll be able to invest more into the future of Metro and our ongoing partnership with a series developer for a games to benefit our Metro fans. End quote from him. That key phrase right there. Epic's generous revenue terms are a game changer. So the question becomes, is this just a one-shot deal, or will every single Deep Silver game from here on out be only released on the Epic Store?
Why would they release it on Steam?
Exactly. That's
Because at this point, that is the actual question.
Yeah.
With the existing user base of Epic, because you know how many fucking people play Fortnite, so you know that the Epic Games Store is already installed on at least that many computers. And yes, it's true that Steam is installed on way the fuck more PCs, but when you hear that revenue split, you're like, we can just make more money if we do it here. And if it starts selling enough, then we'll probably have people from Steam install the Epic Store and download it if they want the game. Because it's not that big a deal as far as the company is concerned for you to download another client.
Yeah, and you know what? I have been on the other client rants. I bitch about Origin. I bitch about Ubisoft. But I don't bitch about Battle.net. And the Epic Store falls into that same category.
Well,
I am totally
the
fine with
difference is that Origin and Uplay are broken most of the time.
Yeah, I have major issues with them.
I've had so many issues with Origin, like trying to play Battlefield 4 with a friends list and actually getting into a squad was a damn nightmare.
Yeah,
that game barely worked.
I don't have any of those issues with either Battle.net, Steam, or Epic, so I'm more than happy to have multiple clients on there. It's just they have to work.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah. So I think that Steam is going to eventually be forced to change their revenue sharing. I think that they have to, because we aren't talking, okay, here's this Subnautica. I think the new Subnauticas are, for example, the new Subnautica game coming out. I think that's Epic Store exclusive. We're reaching a point where it's not just small indie teams anymore. You have Ubisoft, which is a major AAA publisher. You have, if you're reading between the lines on this one, Deep Silver. Deep Silver is a THQ-esque publisher. They publish a lot of your mid-tier shit. And they're big publishers in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Steam, it's not like, by no means think that I'm saying Steam's going to go disappear over a year or anything like that. But I think they need to fucking adapt, or they're going to have major, major problems later on. And
do you think that this is another example of Epic being a bully?
Oh, God,
like
no.
them saying, hey, we're getting the money, so we're going to try and force our will, and you guys need to change to an 80-20 split. Kind of like how they called out Sony.
Yeah, fuck that. You
so,
know how much money Steam has.
You guys need crossplay. That's true.
Oh,
Gavin doesn't give a shit.
It's not bullying. It's offering a better product for a better price, or the same product for a better price. It's called competition. Fucking let it happen. When it happens,
pretty sure it's your favorite thing.
You're goddamn right. Me and Teddy Roosevelt. We're like this.
Speaking of Teddy Roosevelt, I'm pretty sure he was alive the last time a Metroid game came out.
Smooth.
Thanks. Let's talk about this Metroid Prime 4 news and how all we knew about it going into, well, this story was we had that, title trailer, teaser trailer.
On one of the Nintendo Directs, they essentially had a splash card that said Metroid Prime 4 work in development or working title or something like that on there.
Yep.
So we weren't even sure it was going to be called Metroid Prime 4.
Well, in a new clip from Nintendo, I believe it was posted on the Nintendo UK YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's done up very much in the style of a Direct, but very simple. It's the guy speaking behind a white background.
Yep, the senior managing executive usher, Shinya Takahashi, had a development update for Metroid Prime 4 in which he said, "The current development progress has not reached the standard we seek in a sequel to the Metroid Prime series. The development has been rebooted, and its producer will now work with Retro Studios, the guys that made the original
Kensuke Tanabe.
Thank you.
I just saw how you skipped right over that name.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna screw that up.
I could be mispronouncing it too.
So they handed the series back to Retro, which is pretty cool. And they also just straight up said, "Hey, this game is not coming along how we want it to. We are shutting it down and starting it over and giving it to these other guys." And
so remember what I said about transparency in EA. If you just fucking frame the problem properly, people are going to be forgiving on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's mostly what's happening. People are like, "Thanks, guys. Great idea. We'd rather have a good Metroid Prime game than a bad one. Take your time. We've waited this long, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah. Shinya Takahashi came out, said, "Hey," I'm paraphrasing, of course, "development on this is fucked up. We have to start from the beginning again. We went back to Retro Studios, the guys that made Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. They're now working with us, and we're going to build a game that is up to our standards because what we had before and what we were seeing was not there. And we owe it to you as fans to deliver the high bar of quality you expect from us." And I fucking applaud that.
It's great. And plus, the thing is it's early enough in the development that all we had is a damn splash screen. So no one's seen gameplay. It's not like we're being strung along and like, "Oh, the game's almost done and it's going to come out. Oh, now it's got..." No, we don't know shit about the game.
Yeah, not at all. And we didn't even have an official title yet.
We don't know the exact title. We don't even an estimate of the date it's going to come out. So they can do what they need to.
Now,
and like you said, transparency is key. But it's kind of funny that people are loving this so much when they hate everybody else for delaying stuff.
Yes, and that's the point I wanted to make. If it was anyone else other than Nintendo saying this shit, the internet would be wrongly burning them out. Because I'm at the stance of fucking take your time to build your game. Delays fucking suck. I get it. But I want a good game. I don't want a piece of shit rushed out. If Mass Effect Andromeda would have had another 2 years in the oven to bake, that could have been an excellent game. But instead we got, well, what we saw. That said, once again, if it was EA coming out saying, "Hey, we need more time on something, we're going to start this from the ground up," the internet would be lighting them on fire because Nintendo, for some fucking reason, just gets a free pass on so much. And they have a lot to criticize them for. First that pops in my head is their goddamn online system. But do we hear anyone bitch about that besides us? No. Because people have these blinders on when it comes to Nintendo.
Oh yeah, we've gotten in trouble for making fun of Nintendo. Remember, if you go back long enough, you can see videos of us bashing on the Switch before it was released, and fuck, were we wrong on that shit.
Oh yeah, no, I will fully admit, I was fucking horribly wrong.
Handheld in 2017? What is this garbage?
Yeah, it turns out it's
Nintendo,
like my favorite
get with
console
the fucking time. Yeah, dude, I take that thing everywhere.
Coco for Tacos, he's kind of paraphrasing, I want to say Miyamoto at Nintendo, or I can't remember who, but one of the Nintendo higher-ups said, and this is a paraphrase, a good game is a forever game, but a rush game is a good game is forever good, a rush game is forever bad. And that's kind of paraphrasing what someone at Nintendo said. I can't remember his goddamn name off the top of my head. I can't remember which one did it.
I like it. It's a good line.
That's exactly it. I just want to say I'm happy Nintendo did this. This is what they should do. I want more companies to do this. But the reason why more companies don't do this is because if it was anyone else but Nintendo doing this, they would be fucking lit up right now for it.
Although, keep in mind, there is a line. Because there's delays, and delays can make a game better. That's true. But it can also get delayed to the point
where it becomes Star Citizen?
That it becomes Star Citizen. Yes, exactly. It becomes a game that will not ever come out. And we should all stop holding our breath.
So
Oh
here's where the
boy.
problem is. You can delay something once or twice and still earn goodwill, but every time you delay something further and further down the timeline raises the bar of how good that game has to be.
Yeah.
Because every time you delay it, people go, okay, that means it's going to be better. They don't have like a, okay, this is
Because
now
no
what they're
one
hitting.
learned shit from Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, no one ever does.
Turns out when you delay a game a million times, it's because the entire game's been rebuilt from the ground up. So it's not a 14-year-old video game. It never is. It's a 2-year-old video game or a year and a half-year-old video game.
There we go. Salty Frank found the quote for us. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad. And that is from Miyamoto.
Nice.
So thank you for bringing that up, guys, in chat. I do appreciate it.
Great Googling, team. Proud of you guys.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. There's a couple small bits about Resident Evil 2, because that's the new hotness right now. Once again, Resident Evil 2 is an amazing fucking game. Buy it. It is so goddamn good. But we got some cool stuff coming out. One is something that I don't necessarily bring up, but I hope this touches on what I think it's going to touch up, and that is some free DLC coming out to Resident Evil. And if you take a look at it right here.
Which sounds awesome.
The Ghost Survivors is coming as a free update to Resident Evil 2 starting February 15th. Free. No pay. You own the game? You got it. Explore what-if stories of 3 unfortunate souls who never made it out of Raccoon City. The gunship owner, the mayor's daughter, and the soldier. And they got the names of the DLC on there. David, the reason
That's fucking awesome.
The reason why I'm so excited for this is because those are 3 characters that are dead in the game. And what I
Yes.
hope they do is that the game
This entire story leads right up to the moment of their death.
Yes. Now, they have it questioned as what if, which makes me think that maybe you can get away, and I don't want that. What I want is I want to see how they go out, because I'm going to take you back.
Oh, dude, as soon as I saw Gunshop Owner, my dream was you play that guy's entire storyline until all of a sudden he's standing in his gun shop and the door opens and Leon walks in.
Which isn't in the game, by the way. At least not that I've seen so far. That specific scene isn't in there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want.
So I'm going to take you back to the PlayStation 2 days. There was 2 games called Outbreak 1 and Outbreak 2 for Resident Evil.
Oh my god, the Outbreak File games! I forgot about. I loved those fucking games.
I'm not going to get into too many details about
early
what the
internet for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into too many details about the game was. But what was awesome about that game is you had 8 playable characters. But if you beat the game with certain pairs, the whole object of this game was to have Raccoon City. It was a bunch of survivors. And you beat the game, you get out, and you survive. But that's not the real ending. The real ending is if you played with certain pairs that the characters were affinity for, you see how they actually died. Because no one escaped Raccoon City. And those endings were amazing. Because it was usually just about 2 people looking at the oncoming apocalypse, knowing their time is up and going, fuck it. Let's go out with a bang. And I loved those endings so much. And I'm hoping that this free DLC with the 3 people who don't make it out, end with them not making it out. I don't want a what if, like they put in quotes of, oh yeah, we escaped at the last second. No, I want to see their deaths. And I know that sounds macabre, but there is something noble
it's satisfying.
about
It closes the loop.
about that. It does.
Also, we already have a soldier. We have a soldier that makes it out because Hunk is a character that exists. That motherfucker's canon.
Yeah, exactly. Which is still weird because they've never done anything with them.
You don't need another Hunk.
They might have done something on Umbrella Corps, but we don't talk about that game. Also, in the quick little Resident Evil stories thing, and I don't know how I feel about this just yet, but it comes via Deadline. A Resident Evil TV series is in the works at Netflix. Oh boy. From the article itself, Resident Evil is heading to television. Deadline has learned that Netflix is developing a scripted series based on the hit action horror franchise. I hear the series will be a Netflix global original. German production and distribution company Constantine Film, which is behind the Resident Evil movies, loosely based on the Capcom video game series, is the studio developing it. That's the problem. So here's the thing. I would love to see a TV series about the fall of Raccoon City. I think there's a lot of potential there. What I'm worried about is that they're going to fucking take this TV series and turn it into the movies. And I don't want that. I want this to be a pretty hard adaptation of Resident Evil. Not whatever Paul W.S. Anderson has done with the movies. And yeah, I'm of the same opinion, Salty Frank. Those movies were so shit they're good, but it's not Resident Evil. It is not Resident Evil. It's its own thing. What I want is, like, say, a 10 episode season where the first 3 episodes are just, here is daily life in Raccoon City. Here's some weird shit going on. Hey, we heard about some serial killer out in the Arklay Woods. Horrible mass mutilations. Season 4, episode 4. Wow, people are starting to get sick. Maybe there's a problem. Could just be like a super flu. Season 7, shit's gone horribly wrong. You see, like, just the last stand at the police station. Episode 10, everyone's dead. It ends with fucking Leon's car driving into Raccoon City. That's what I want to see in a nice, tight, condensed series. There is a lot that they can do to show the fall, and it's something that zombie media never really deals with. You always see the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse, the people living after it. You rarely get to see what happens at the start of the zombie apocalypse until after all the shit's finally calmed down. I want to see that collapse. I want to see the breakdown of society. I don't want to see
people going to work and then seeing weird reports on the news. And there's also the whole lead up that in Resident Evil 2, you go to the police station because there's like stories the police station is safe, that it's like the last bastion. That's where everyone went. The police station fell at one point, and I want to see the whole lead up of when they started getting people in there. The first person who was like hiding out in the police station and then turned, and then everything went bad. But
I want to see
while
what
I'm super down for that show, I am not really at all interested in seeing this show as a live action from the crew that made the Resident Evil movies. If you want my money,
that bothers me. That's
you
concern.
Take this entire fucking concept and hand it to Adi Shankar and walk the fuck away.
Yeah.
You just give it to the guy that made the Castlevania series on Netflix.
That guy knows video games. He's clearly played them. He's clearly into them, and I am of the same.
More than anything else, that motherfucker made Punisher Dirty Laundry, and that shit was tight.
Take a look at it. If you haven't, YouTube Punisher Dirty Laundry, I think, take a look at that. It's got Tom Jane in it. From the article itself again, the drama series explores the dark inner workings of Umbrella Corporation of a new world order caused by the outbreak of a T virus. That also bothers me a little bit, too, because it makes me think that is going to be answered after. That means it's going to be set after the fall of Raccoon rather than being during the fall of Raccoon, kind of conflicting timelines. I don't want that either. I don't want to go, oh, Raccoon City happened and now we have to bring Umbrella. No, fuck that. I've played the games. I've seen the movies. I want to watch the collapse.
We also have 8,000 fucking seasons of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit in my life.
No.
I don't.
There's potential here, but I fear for it. And I don't think I'm going to get what I want. And I'm not the only one not getting what they want.
Oh, yeah, dude. Speaking of things I'm fearful for, it's you. If you wanted to get that Kingdom Hearts 3 video game console from GameStop.
We move on to the last story. This one just straight up from GameStop's Twitter.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Go ahead.
I'm stealing this from you because it's too fucking funny. Thanks, GameStop. Due to an error, we oversold on pre-orders for the limited edition Kingdom Hearts 3 PlayStation 4 Pro, and unfortunately, some orders had to be canceled. The guests who had an order canceled will receive a $25 gift coupon. Right? That's awesome. We apologize for the inconvenience and frustration this has caused.
I'm scrolling through their timeline here, and it's just nothing but like Game of Thrones glyphs and the Seinfeld
hilarious.
It's
so great.
It's so. This is fucking classic GameStop bullshit, right?
I think my favorite comment is right there in front of you. The error is that you force employees to sell as many pre-orders as they could in order to hit company-established quotas. Same quotas you use to fire them if they aren't met on a regular basis. This isn't a new era. You've been doing it for years at their and our expense.
Yeah. The one thing I would say to pre-order, because remember, the show is very much don't pre-order shit. The one thing I say is the exception to that rule is fucking hardware.
Hardware, yeah, why not?
But GameStop can't even do that right. And you know what?
GameStop can't do anything. They're a Tamagotchi store now.
What's infuriating about this isn't that we didn't fulfill our orders. I get that sucks, but horrible shit happens. The company itself, who they were buying them from, might have fucked them, right? Mm-hmm. What drives me nuts about this is it's not like they didn't know this was a problem until the day before. I know how GameStop works. I worked there for a while. They knew that they were short, and I say allegedly. All this is hypothetically, but it's how I see this going down. GameStop as a company knew they were going to be short weeks, if not a month plus in advance. And they were scrambling around at the last minute trying to fill these orders. They couldn't. And instead of telling people, hey, we're not going to be fill this, cancel your pre-order and go somewhere else so you can fucking secure it, they waited until the day before the fucking game launches or the week before the game fucking launches to tell people your shit can't be pre-ordered anymore. We're having to cancel it. Oh, and by the way, everyone else is now sold out of it too because we fucking held onto your pre-order for this long without telling you there was a problem. That is what's infuriating. Because I have had a similar situation happen at yet another game store I worked at called Game Crazy, where they fucked people over with the Wrath of the Lich King launch when I had 80 pre-orders for it, and they told me I was getting one copy in. And they told me not to tell anyone. I, of course, said, fuck you. I'm calling my entire list saying, you need to take your money out and go reserve it somewhere else.
For those who aren't aware, Steven no longer works at a GameStop.
No, or a Game Crazy anymore. But it's that shit is what's more infuriating to me. I get the cancellation of something, that's fucking unacceptable. That sucks. But there is an alleged, once again, I'm using a hypothetical term because I don't know for certain. I just can only based on my own experience, having been an employee at multiple game stores throughout my life. They will know that there's a problem and deliberately tell their employees, or just not even share it with them. They'll just go, we're not going to say anything. We have their money. Yeah. They'll spend it on something else in the store. Fuck that.
There you go.
You have a responsibility to your employees, and shit like this makes me glad GameStops are going to be fucking dead in a couple of years. Which sucks, because I always liked it at the local level. I've never had a bad in-store experience.
The shitty part is I used to love like the local game store and that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then there was that moment where GameStop became the only local game store as they bought up all the EBs and like everything went out of business and Game Crazy stopped and everything else stopped. So you were down to just the one. Okay, well, this is the game store now. That's fine. Yeah. And now we don't even have that because most everything is going digital. And it's a bummer because it's kind of an end of era, but I'm hoping that this means that more people will frequent like their actual local mom and pop style game shops because they do still exist.
Yeah, they're
hard
usually
to find.
Specialty. They have a lot of times they have like rarities.
They're
and stuff
less
in
convenient, but I mean it's probably better you spend your money there anyway. Especially since GameStop never fucking has what you want.
Exactly. So, if you were looking forward to getting that Kingdom Hearts console and pre-order at GameStop, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that for a very, very long time. However, if you find yourself with nothing to do because of that, what else can you possibly play that comes out this week, David?
I'm sorry, I got to take a moment and shout out to chat. Salty Frank bringing up the fact that one of the two local GameStops shut down because they also sold meth.
Hilarious. That's
classic GameStop.
That is classic GameStop.
Hey, they needed something that would actually keep customers coming back into the store.
C-Mac, I'm glad you're really enjoying this. Also, something that keeps customers coming back to the store. I'm going to get a little blue here, as it were. There is a famous clip of a game store employee performing a sexual act on another game store employee in their back room. And I know for a fact that clip is real because I've been in the back room of many GameStops. I recognize the wire racks. I recognize their equal employment posters. That dude is having some fun in the back room. They filmed it in the back of an actual GameStop and put it up there.
Nice.
And it's got
classy.
like millions of views. So shit happens at a GameStop. David.
I wonder if we pre-ordered it.
New releases.
New releases. All right, let's get through this shit. There's a few things coming out this week. I'll just get this one right out of the way. Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One this week. You fall in two categories. You've either been waiting for this game for 13 years, or you haven't. This is a Square game that Disney threw all up on, and the story is, I'm pretty sure, convoluted, though. People are trying to tell me it's not.
No, it is. As someone who has played most of the games, let me assure you, it fucking is.
If you want to catch up, you can buy all the games in one collection, but it's about 168 hours of gameplay, or you could just play the third one and go in blind, or you can do what I do and not give two shits about Kingdom Hearts. That's right. I don't like it at all. Suck it, everybody else. But you've been playing it, and you can't talk about it. So
I will say this about Kingdom Hearts 3. Do not go into it blind. It is
Going blind as fuck.
no, it is. Ooh, no, no,
All
no.
I know about that game is that one girl from Frozen sings "Let It Go" in its entirety, and I don't need that shit in my life.
That is absolutely true. So here I will say this about Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. The other two Kingdom Hearts, I've seen most of their movies because they're fucking classics, like Pinocchio, Little Mermaid, Lion King. These ones, with all the newer movies, like I don't want to say what worlds are in them in case you're trying to keep from spoilers from happening. I haven't seen about half of them. So you're already getting like a condensed storyline, which kind of relies you on having seen the movie before. On this one, I'm just like, I have no fucking idea what's going on here.
See, the big reason I was never a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, I don't know why I can't talk for a second, is that I didn't watch Disney growing up. I didn't. So
It just
Disney
wasn't your,
movies,
your thing?
yeah, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a Disney movie that was made by John Carpenter, so I just didn't see it as a kid.
Oh my god.
And
I
I
would
never
love
understood
a
anything that
Disney
was happening
Carpenter.
with it. So just Kingdom Hearts was never for me. I like Square.
So Frederick 2000 asking, did you guys like the game? David hasn't played. I have had it since, I want to say Thursday, maybe Friday. I've sunk about 30 hours into it so far. I haven't finished it yet. And because of the weird insanity that is the Square Enix NDA, while reviews for it are out, the outlet I'm covering review for is embargoed until 5 minutes from
9
now.
p.m. Come back in 5 minutes if you want to know what he actually thinks.
Yeah, I'll give a quick impressions of 30 hours into the game once 9 p.m. hits, and it's technically the embargo is up.
That's so weird. Let's just talk about that. More than the video game, their embargo structure is whack as shit. Although if you don't want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 because you're me, there's other games coming out this week, including Tank Mechanic Simulator for PC. This game, I believe, is from the same publisher that put out the car mechanic simulators, and it looks very, very similar in both style and gameplay, except for this time, you're taking old tanks and fixing them up.
I kind of want to play this. It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like it fills the same weird genre like niche as Farming Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator and all that other stuff.
The extremely detailed video games based on one seemingly monotonous task.
I actually have Car Mechanic Simulator on my laptop, and I've like played it bored when I'm on a trip or something, because it's just mindless. It's you get a phone call, oh, I got this car and it's got this problem with it, and you take the whole front end apart and you rebuild the suspension, you put it back together, and then you give the car back and you make a little money. And that's just what the game is. It's just mindless, repetitive tasks, which sometimes can be very soothing. And I'm guessing this is that, but with tanks.
Yeah, I imagine so too.
Also coming out this week, Genesis Alpha 1 for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. This is an action RPG, indie adventure, spaceship building roguelike, and it looks tight as hell. I had no idea this game was coming out. I watched a bunch of trailers on it, and I got really excited looking at it. It's got first-person shipbuilding that made me feel a little bit like Space Engineers, and that's a game that I really loved back in the day. But then one of the things you can build is a clone room. Oh, okay, cool. You can clone yourself. You can make mixed, alien species clones, all this other stuff. And you're like, oh, cool. I found a planet. I'm going to go explore it, see if it'll survive like humans on there and all that. And you go out the door and you pull out your rifle. And then you probably get rushed by aliens like you're in Starship Troopers, and your dude dies a horrible, agonizing death. And then the next clone in the pod comes out, and it says, congratulations, Captain, you've been promoted. And you play your next life. And you keep playing until you're out of clones.
And this has those vibes?
Yeah, and it looks pretty damn entertaining to me. But the wacky shit about this game is it's been on Steam for a long time. It's still advertised on Steam, but from what I understand, they're not actually releasing it there, and they've decided to release it on the Epic Games Store, which is ridiculous because they're not a big company, and their game is already up. So we have some small games that are being released on the Epic Games Store only, but they were announced and released on the Epic Store, period. This is a game that's been sitting on the coming soon on Steam for a minute now, and they're moving it to Epic.
I can see why people will be pissed.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people really mad at it. I'm still curious though, so I'm gonna probably try and take a look at it and see.
Let me know how it works.
We'll find out. Something you might be interested in, Subnautica Below Zero comes out for PC and Mac this week. This is actually early access. This is a pre-release version of the game, but again, Like we like to say here, if you have to pay for it, it's a game, and we will judge accordingly.
Yeah.
Dive into the freezing underwater adventure on an alien planet. This is 1 year after the first Subnautica. Below Zero has a new disaster, alien research station, new tools, scavenge supplies, get the next chapter in the story. But it's in active development, bugs, missing features, performance issues, likely. Stay tuned on their blog or whatever if you want to know more. But
I like
know
Subnautica, but I lost a total of 7 hours of progress in it over 2 days, and I am now giving it an extended break. I might actually just jump right into Below Zero, but we'll see. But it's a solid game. It just has a piss poor autosave feature, and it has no autosave feature, I should say, and crashes happen in that game.
Oh, there you go. Goodbye Deponia is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One. This is a game that's been on Steam since 2013. This is I want to say point-and-click adventure game, comedy-based. So think
it's been out for a while. Games. So the Deponia series, or however you pronounce it, it's been around for a long time.
But now it's on Xbox and PS4. So there you go. Drowning is coming out to PS4, Vita, and Switch. This is a indie adventure walking sim that's been out on Steam, I think, for a long time. The trailer for this game is really bad. It doesn't give you a whole lot of information about it. But the more you look into it, this is a short game about a kid who discovers he has depression. The look and aesthetic is very pretty. The sounds are very depressing, very pretty. But it's a sad, depression-filled trip. So it's
I don't know
not
if I need
for
that
everyone.
in my life.
Yeah, it might be interested if you're working through something, or if you like games that are more mental than anything else. It could be good. But like I said, it looks like kind of a bummer. Bombfest comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is a local multiplayer Bomberman with physics game is the best I can describe it. 4 players. You play with 2 buttons. There's like a jump and a dodge. You use a joystick. You throw bombs at people, and you try and blow them up. But you play as a wooden block characters, and it takes place in like a toy box or on a playmat or in a sink or stuff like that. So got that Micro Machines vibe. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown hits PC. This is that one game you like.
It's damn good. I reviewed it on PlayStation 4 over at GameCritics.com. You can take a look at my thoughts over it there. Make Ace Combat great again. It is goddamn amazing. I might buy this on PC as well. I might legitimately own it on 2 consoles just to have it, just so I can support it. It is.
Why would you not get it on PC and grab a flight stick, play it properly?
Yeah, well, I mean, exactly.
Nightcry comes out for Vita.
So
we got a game that's only on Vita.
Nightcry is that weird kickstarted spiritual successor to Clock Tower, and it really fucking sucks. As someone who loved Clock Tower and played Nightcry, don't buy this on the PlayStation Vita. The only reason I even put it on this list is 1, it's a Vita game, and we don't have too many of those, and 2, to warn you all not to buy it, which is why we don't have any Vita games anymore.
This game is old school Clock Tower as fuck in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
Like, it plays like a 90s game.
Yeah, it's bad. It plays like a bad 90s game.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about Wargroove for a second. Xbox One, Switch, PC. Did you watch the trailer for this damn game?
Yeah, it's Advance Wars.
It looks like fucking Advance Wars. This game looks amazing. I knew nothing about it.
With
strategy
any
game
luck,
for up to 4 players. Pick different commanders, turn-based battles. You can design and share maps. It's got cutscenes. You can make campaigns. It's got in-game editors, all this cool stuff.
Way excited for this. With any luck, I will have a code for it this Wednesday. The game launches Friday, but I will stream it as soon as I can, and I am way excited for Wargroove.
Hell yeah, we need more Advance Wars. And hopefully someone just uses the engine in this game and makes a new one. And finally, I guess, let's talk about 8-Bit Hordes for PS4, Xbox One. This is a fantasy RTS game. Came out on Steam a while ago. It's pretty positive on Steam. It's a strategy arcade game. Collect resources, build, defend your base, make an army, crush your opponent. It's a low resolution, old school style RTS. That's fantasy based on dedicated servers.
Sounds good. Now that it's after 9, by the way, the quick few impressions on Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm about 30 to 40 hours into it. I am on the second set of worlds. I will keep those worlds nameless for the moment so that way I don't spoil anything. The second gummy ship map for people who want to know, people want to have an idea of where I'm at there. It is Kingdom Hearts as fuck. I have played almost every game in the franchise, and I'm still fucking lost as far as the plot goes. It is jumping around everywhere. It seems like it's all heading to some kind of a resolution, though, so I'm happy for that. Hopefully they actually tie things up. I don't need loose ends. I just need the series to to finish up this goddamn Xehanort bullshit, finally, and move on to something else.
Reminder that you do not have access to the closing epilogue because it hasn't been released yet.
That is, for some people, it has not been released yet. I have a full patched version of the game because I am technically reviewing it for that other site, GameCritics.com, that I mentioned earlier. I don't want to get into too many details because I have not finished it yet, and it did just come out, and then they're very, very paranoid about spoilers. I am into it, though. The game is fun. And there is one world in particular that is, interestingly enough, has the best ship combat I've seen since Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Oh, that kind of ship. Oh, dude, I'm going to get hella spoilery. I'm pretty sure that both Goofy and Donald are in that game.
They absolutely are.
Boom. Nailed it.
Correct. So, yeah, if you're looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3 and you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, you have nothing to fear. Go with God, my child.
If you want that game, or like if you are the kind of person that would be interested in Kingdom Hearts, you already know more about this game than either of us.
No, I don't know about either one of us, but definitely you.
Well, maybe not you, but I'm just saying, like, there's nothing really we can say to convince you to play Kingdom Hearts 3 or convince you not to. If you're aware of it and you're a fan, you're probably going to buy it.
The only thing that I can say with absolute certainty right now is that if you like the way Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 played, you are going to love the way Kingdom Hearts 3 played. And I don't want to get into plot or story details or anything like that. And it is now late. We're at the end of the show. I'm going to keep rambling and accidentally say something I shouldn't, so we're going to call things right now. Thank you all for showing up to GamePoints episode 159. I always appreciate when we have an active chance. Coco for Taco, Salty Frank, C-Mac, if you still appreciate it, Frederick 2000, I hope you also enjoyed the show as well. If you guys like what you see here, be watching us live here at Twitch TV every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or on YouTube at GamePointsPC.com. YouTube.com/GamePointsPC, rather. If you like what you see, feel free to support us in any way that you can. Be them likes, subscriptions, bits. If you're sitting on that Amazon or Twitch Prime sub account here on Twitch TV and you haven't used it, I'd appreciate it here. But never feel like you're obliged to do any of that. I'm just jazzed to have you here. However, make sure you use it somewhere. Give it to your favorite streamer. It does go to waste if you don't. I do stream also Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be taking a look at Riot, Civil Unrest. It's a upcoming game that looks cool. Wednesday, if I get Wargroove, we'll definitely take a look at that. If not, we will stream some Battlefleet Gothic. And Thursday, either Resident Evil or something else. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I will definitely see you all there. If you want, you can follow the show at Twitter at GamePointsPC. You can follow myself, Steven Brand, at CapitalistPig21. You can follow David there at Palstrife_Satori. I will be taking a look at Division 2 tomorrow, so we can get some bookkeeping out of the way. That's going to be in San Francisco, and I will have my thoughts and feelings on the Division 2 when I can talk about it. I don't know when the embargo for that's going to be up, but I am looking forward to taking a look at that game. Of course,
also, everybody should hop on the Anthem demo when it comes out next weekend and play with me.
Yeah, and I will be getting that.
Join our Discord.
Yeah, join our Discord. Link will be either down below or in the box down below. I do need to make a little chat thing that pops it up on there as well. But we will be playing the Anthem Discord beta sometime this weekend. We should actually set a time for us to get into that and see if we can't play that, because it is going to be
Saturday. Let's break it together.
For everyone. I can't confirm Saturday just yet, but tune into the Discord and see. There'll be definite time of their announcements. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. Thank you all for showing up. This has been GamePoints episode 159. Y'all have a good night. And until then, we're out of here.